with demos. We stopped doing live demos. We started building videos of the perfect parts of the demos, the exact 2-minute segments that everybody needed to see in the demo. And believe it or not, we would show these videos live on a call. So we would observe the video alongside with them. And whereas everybody was recording these calls, sending 30-minute videos that, nobody was going to watch on the customer side, they'd always say, send us the video. Of course, they never watched them. We would send them the exact perfect videos that they needed to show other people that they actually would watch. So from a customer's job to be done perspective, from a product perspective, what does that mean? That means we're helping them achieve their goals. We're not trying to cut down on the time that it's taking us. All we did was try to be empathetic to the customer, and that intrinsically just happened to make everything great for us. But really, we were optimizing towards them, and this just happened throughout the funnel, like every step of the funnel. CPQ quotes. You know what we did? We said we're going to buy an e-commerce checkout website software. The same thing that people do, basically, you go to Amazon, you check yourself out. And that's what our customers did. So we didn't have to go back and forth 7 times with CPQ. We didn't have to chase down signatures. We gave them the checkout form and they signed it or they didn't. They got access or they didn't. Really, really simple. And everything sort of worked out. And then things got even weirder because, we got this article published when we shared our findings in Sales Hacker. So once we started making these changes, it was like gravity stopped applying. So, we have these ideas in sales about what great sales is. And this is the stuff that I practiced and it worked, right? So when you get on a call, you do little talking and you do a lot of question asking, you do a lot of discovery, and you're always pushing the information to the end because you want to give the perfect crafted pitch. What we found when we looked at our conversation intelligence data was the best customers and the best deals had us talking the most. And we asked very little questions. Customers asked all the questions. We just gave the answers. And the reason for that was going back to this, we stopped marketing broad things in the hopes of booking meetings. We started marketing to try to find the right people who would never churn. And so we started thinking of marketing as a way to scare away all the wrong people and attract all the right people. So it's just been a really interesting experience. I don't think, to sum up, I don't think sales is necessarily going to go away. Well, I know sales absolutely isn't going to go away, but I know for a fact that just looking at those metrics of talk time versus questions asked, whatever, the entire nature of sales is going to have to change this new world. And RevOps, I think, is going to be the catalyst that is going to make that happen. So my takeaway for today is this: stop trying to make your reps more efficient, make the customer's journey more efficient, and everything will figure itself out.
Amazing. Thanks, Erol. Tons of questions come to mind here. And we'll give some people opportunity. Anybody out there listening who has a question, please don't be shy. Happy to ask it for you. But my first question, Erol, is can you describe that process around, the perfect customer, finding that perfect customer, right? Because we all go through these exercises, defining ICP, defining personas, and the typical kind of attributes that everybody talks about. How was yours different, and what did that process look like?
Yeah. So for me, this comes from the product world. There's this concept called job to be done. The guy who championed it was Clay Christensen. Lots of content out there from him and somebody who worked with Bob Mesta. You have to read about it. But basically, their whole argument is that, the way that people buy things is they try to make progress, right? They're trying to get things done. And this is the whole vitamin versus the painkiller thing. The reason we try to solve problems when we find ourselves in specific situations, and that's where the journey starts. The journey, I may be a white male who is middle income and worked in tech for 10 years, whatever. These are my properties, but that has nothing to do with my buying situation or my motivation, right? Correct. My buying motivation is more it's 9:30, it's 9:42. I'm a father. I have 2 kids downstairs. I don't get to work 12 hours the way that I used to. And I'm I struggle with XYZ in running my business. That is my situation. And so I think overall, the way that we do this, who's your ICP, whatever, all of that tends to reflect a lack of vision and strategy because if you had a vision and strategy, you would be starting with the person, and you'd be thinking not in terms of like, how can I get the thing that gets more people in and, buying more? You would be thinking, how can I literally scare away all the wrong people and attract only the right people? Because that's what my product was built to do, to serve these people. And if I want more people, then I need to build a product that serves those other situations, that caters to those situations. And that's how you expand, situation by situation, not demographic by demographic.
Yeah. Cool. Another kind of practical question that I think people would be interested in. So, the idea of, I've coached reps on this a million times. Hey, like, don't talk so much, right? Like, get the prospect talking. And I think you're suggesting flipping it on its head, but it's really not about the amount of time one party is talking versus the other. It's really about, is the right information being explained, right? That's exactly right. So how do you get, like, how do you structure, are there any tips or tricks on how to get the prospect on the phone to engage and to ask those questions and to be the driver of the conversation?
If you've done your job in marketing, they're going to show up with questions. Like, to me, that is a barometer of how good a job you've done. So the reason we don't give information, the reason we seek information up front in reps, by the way, this is for SDRs. The reason we cold call people and the reason we have sequences that have 7 topics over 32 days is because we don't know up front. We haven't done the research to know exactly what we can do for those people, because we've been given like, oh, it's a white male in Chicago suburbs, whatever, and go, we think we can sell them, go find out. If you're marketing, and by the way, this is what TryKit.ai does, by the way. If you are in this digital world, if you can map the right person to your product and you have a real strategy around that, what's going to happen is you're going to send an email that's going to look like this. Hey, Gary, we profiled your business. We noticed you have 32 SDRs and 100 AEs. We also know that you're using software XYZ. We think we can save you $732,142. I have a spreadsheet. I'd love to break it down. Are you the best person, or is this something Armando looks at? Like, that is so specific and so informed that then that person is going to show up on the call. You're not going to ask them questions. They're going to be asking you the questions.
Fair enough.
And so that's flipping it on its head. It's not about, them asking questions is the byproduct, or us not talking and listening is the byproduct of everything that came before it.
Right. Awesome. Erol, we're at time. Perfect amount of time, actually. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure there's going to be people that would love to pick your brain or would love to learn more, might be interested in learning more about TryKit.ai. Other than visiting TryKit.ai, how could people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I write on LinkedIn every day, and I run a community called Automation. So I'm very active in the RevOps community. I think if you just go to LinkedIn, find me, follow me, there'll be plenty of opportunities to exchange ideas and talk. I'm a RevOps nerd, so I will talk to all of you if you reach out.
Awesome.